Fire Toronto Raptors news, boys. Let's talk Gary Trent Jr. As we all know, with the Portland Trail Blazers last year, Gary Trent Jr. was only averaging 9 points per game. In the past 9 games playing with the Raptors, Gary Trent Jr. is averaging 20 points per game. He's doubled his point average from last year. Past 9 games averaging 20 points per game, 45% shooting from the field, and 42% shooting from 3, guys. Gary Trent Jr. is becoming a star right before our very eyes, boys. Now let's get into it. First of all, for those that don't know, who is Gary Trent Jr.? Gary Trent Jr. is a 22-year-old guard/wing, 6'5". He's the son of a former Raptor, former Blazer, Gary Trent. He's been in the league for about 3 years now. This is his 3rd NBA season, to my knowledge. So Gary Trent Jr., he's a young player, 22 years old, a lot of talent, a lot of potential, has been showing a lot of flashes of star potential in his past few games with the Raptors, boys. But as I told you, Gary Trent Jr. has made a small change. He's made a small change to his game that has made him much better. He's made a small change to his game that has made him way more effective, that has been able to showcase more of his skill set. And this change did not happen until he's gone to the Raptors. So what is that change that I'm talking about, guys? That change is being played at the shooting guard position. The Raptors have moved Gary Trent to the shooting guard position, which is his more natural position. So why did that change make him better? Last year with the Blazers, Gary Trent Jr. spent 60% of his time playing the small forward. This is due to the fact that the Portland Trail Blazers have 2 stars in Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum at the point guard and shooting guard. That forced a guy like Gary Trent Jr. to have to play out of position and play the small forward. As I told you, he's only 6'5". Most small forwards are anywhere from 6'6" or taller. That's about the average small forward height. So he's undersized at the small forward. He has some strength to him, but more or less he's not naturally a small forward. He's better at guarding 2 guards. He's better at guarding 1 guard. So making the switch to the 2 has made him better defensively, and I think we can all notice the improvements on the defensive end. Gary Trent Jr. is a defensive dog. I love what he brings on the defensive end. He locks up his position for sure. He can guard a little bit of the 3. He can guard a little bit of the 1. He's versatile. So his defense is not an issue. I love his defense. The offense is incredible, boys. He's a great shooter. As we're learning from the past couple games, he can create his own shot. He can handle the ball effectively. We all saw in that game against the Cavs, he could barely miss. He went 17 or 19 from the field. Like, Gary Trent Jr. is just displaying all of his skills, and it's all because he got moved to the shooting guard. He's allowed to now, he's getting more minutes due to the fact that Lowry and VanVleet have been out with injury, so he's getting more minutes, more opportunities to prove himself, playing at his natural position, being able to display his full skill set. As I said, past 9 games, 20 points, 45% from the field, 42% shooting from 3. Those are elite 3-point shooting numbers, 42%. The league average is about 37 to 38%. So I just wanted to share this with you guys. Gary Trent Jr. is on his way to becoming a star. We're going to have to figure out how we're going to rotate him, Lowry, and VanVleet once Lowry and VanVleet are back fully healthy. But for now, it's great seeing him taking advantage of his opportunity. We'll get into what will happen with Kyle Lowry in the summer, maybe in another video. But for now, boys, if you enjoy, and ladies, the ladies have been complaining. If you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video and subscribe to the channel. We have new NBA discussions every single week. All right, peace, guys.